everybody, welcome to the show. Continuing in our excellent trend of introducing you to our fantastic people here at Brightstar Studios, this is an episode that I've wanted to do, and I know this is one of my catchphrases at this point. I've wanted to do this episode for a while, but truly, today's guest is Chris. Say hi.
Hi, guys.
And Chris is our newly minted-ish people and cultures person over at Brightstar Studios. I met him on my trip over to Denmark, and I was so blown away by just what a character he was, and simultaneously I'm so happy that we have somebody filling such an important role that I was desperate, and I mean really desperate, to have him on the podcast. So, hi Chris.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Svetlin.
I'm ecstatic that you're here. Like this is gonna be so much fun. So
It is.
In typical Meet the Team fashion, let's start with, who you are. Give us a bit of background on yourself, who you are, what you do,
All right.
where you popped out of.
So I like that you call me a people and culture person, but actually my official title is operations manager.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bit more to it, but right now the main focus of what I'm doing is what you're talking about, people and culture. So what I do is we've got a couple of legs in the game, in the company. We've got game development. You and I could probably do game development, but it would take a lot longer and be not as good as when Joris and all the other guys are doing it. Then we've got marketing. That's what you're doing, and you're doing a hell of a better job than I would ever be able to do. But then there's the third thing, that's making sure that everyone has everything they need, and that's where operations come in. Making sure we reach the goals that we set, making sure you get paid, making sure people get lunch, and just generally just asking people how they are, and making sure that everyone is able to do their best. That is where I come in.
That is a massive relief, especially with, and this is probably going to date the podcast in the future, but the importance of your role, I believe, cannot be understated, especially considering that the video game industry is finally waking up to the fact that people are irreplaceable in the video game making process. And I'm really, really happy that with Brightstar, in the very beginning, or since the very beginning, and especially now with the initiatives that you are spearheading, we are very much focused on making sure that people are taken care of, that they are, fine, happy, comfortable, anything positive that you can think of. That's what I'm feeling is coming from your efforts, and they are massively appreciated.
I mean, it's so easy because people are generally very nice, and people just want to do their best. So the second I landed in the chair, it was like, okay, how can I make sure that everyone has the opportunity to just really shine? And then things come along, like my office chair is wrong. Okay, we'll fix a new office chair. Oh, I haven't gotten paid. Oh, we'll fix that. Oh, I mean, all these little issues that normally just kind of bother people, but if you move them away, which is pretty easy when you don't have to worry about how to code the next AI or draw the next landmark or something. So what's easy for me to do is just take all these pebbles that people could get in their shoes and just remove them so they can just walk the path of building the greatest game of all time.
That is very well put, pebbles and shoes. So how did you come to, choose this career path? What's your background? Where did you, start from, and how did you get here?
Oh, that's a great question, and really, I had a long path. I'm by education, I'm a army captain. I've worked in the Danish armed forces for almost 19 years, to be honest. Deployed a couple of times, and I've been an officer commanding of this company and had my own command. That was really fun, and if I could do that job, I'd probably still be doing it. Mm-hmm. And then as I got older and I got kids, I started going to university and studying IT, not as programming, but as business, like how you connect the two. And I'd set up all my articles from Google with stuff about blockchain and AI because it really interests me. Mm-hmm. I was a kid, I've always been interested in like gaming and technology and computers. And then all of a sudden this article popped up, this crazy company in my hometown building a MMO RPG on blockchain. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on. And I had a meeting with some of the founders, and I talked to some of the people, and I was just so excited that not only were we creating a game where we were able to give back to people, but it was also happening in my hometown, and it was like, I want to be part of this. So I applied, and well, I actually applied for producer because I thought I wanted to make the game, but they pretty quickly identified that my particular skill set that I'd acquired over a long career, it was better used in another way. So here we are.
That kind of rolls the two questions I had into one. You know, you covered how you came to work here. I'm really curious. Did your time in the army? You mentioned that there was a very much a skills overlap. Can you sort of elaborate on that? How did running your own company get you in a position to be able to do the things that you're doing now?
Well, see, most people, well, at least when I was a kid, everyone they played Wolfenstein. He was a lone wolf, right?
Yeah.
They watched Rambo. He was a lone wolf. So you got the feeling that, okay, to be a good soldier, you're alone and you just badass. You do everything by yourself. That is the furthest from the truth that you can be. You cannot, in war, in combat, you cannot do things alone. You need other people. So the way I view leadership and project management and basically most of the things I do in life is I'm really good at some things, but there's always someone who's better than me at some other stuff. So if I wanna build a game, I should be getting guys who can do the best gameplay development, the best concept art, the best programming, and then I can put them all together in one room, and I can make sure that they have all the best opportunities to do whatever they do best. It's the same with soldiers. Like, if I can remove all the obstacles so they can do their job, it makes their job better and it makes mine easier. So that's why I think I call it servant leadership, where in order to make you shine, if you shine, I shine, right? And then we all shine, and then the company does better, the game becomes better, and the community will have a great game. That's what we want at the end of the day.
Which is an incredibly simple concept, which, from what I've seen, is very difficult to grasp. It's kind of amazing to me that not too many companies are doing this.
I mean, it's so simple, right? If you treat your people right, if you pay them well, if you give them the benefits that they want, and just kind of treat them like you want to be treated yourself. It's so basic. If you do that, they will perform better. And if you then tell them, hey, dude, relax, have some holiday, have some vacation, they will come back invigorated and do even better.
Yeah.
So it's a positive feedback loop. And I really, really enjoy seeing people who come back from, let's say they've had a big deadline. We've had some big deadlines, right?
Yeah.
And I just go up to one guy and say, you need to go home now. They'll be looking at me like, no, I can't. I've got this deadline. I need to do the stuff. And like, yeah, but right now you're producing, you're coding at perhaps 50% of what you're capable of. You're doing bad code. Go back home, sleep for 8 hours, come back. Don't worry, I'll deal with your boss. There will be no issues for you. And they come back the next day and they just solve the issue they've been struggling with for hours in 20 minutes because they're invigorated. So I mean, that feeling of seeing someone's success, I get high of it.
That's so awesome. I mean, I experienced it firsthand when you learned that I had 2 weeks of vacation. You looked at me like I had just fallen from Mars. You explicitly told me, rest up.
Yeah, I mean, you should go rest up. I'm pretty sure you spend it doing crazy stuff like working out and trekking in the mountains, drinking your father's rocket fuel, and making Yu-Gi-Oh cards. What did this do?
It was making Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Yes, we had the best lunches.
That was a great lunch.
For everybody not in the know, and this sidebar, I guess. When Yu-Gi-Oh became a thing in Bulgaria, we had tons of like corner stores everywhere selling these like shitty, like, what would it, 50 € Yu-Gi-Oh card packs with the most bootleg things inside them. But we were kids, we didn't understand what they said. Come to find out, they were spelled in very, very broken English. Some of it was not repeatable in today's climate. Anyway, so I watched the show religiously, and I was so obsessed with it that I took some of those bootleg cards. I printed out on sheets of A4 paper, wasting a whole sheet for one card, by the way. Cards that I really liked. I cut them out and I glued them on top of the bootleg cards. So whoever is running the wiki, you can add this to the Lore of Svetland page if that exists.
Well, if it doesn't, it should now. I mean, we've got a great community. They'll probably make it happen.
Back on topic.
Back on topic. Yeah, I think that was pretty fun.
We expanded on what skills you bring, but I want to pick your brain for the future. What is your vision of BSS?
Oh, that's a great. I thought you were going to ask me about the game because that would be pretty quick. About BSS. What I want to do is I want to help create. Well, it's pretty much almost here, but we want to cement it, like a culture where I think you actually described it pretty well in the meeting we had a few weeks ago before the holiday, where you come in and it's not as much a workplace as it's just a really nice place to be with cool people and doing fun stuff. And that's the culture we want to work. And there will be times when we need to do the infamous crunch. We really try not to. I mean, one of the things that we don't we try to avoid overtime. We try to avoid working in weekends unless people want to, because we're pretty flexible. But that's another thing. But I want to build a culture where people want to be here. I mean, where it's fun to be, and we play together, we play Dungeons and Dragons, we watch movies, we do a lot of stuff that isn't just working, but it's all focused on this single goal to create a great game, and in the future perhaps more games or DLCs or comics, or we could go really crazy about thinking about what we wanted to do down the line in 10-15 years.
Basic idea is to just have a workplace that, I don't want to get into cliches, but yeah, you described, I was about to use the family word. I've been watching a lot of Fast and Furious, I apologize, but...
No, because I know what you wanted to say about it being a family place, but that's actually not what I wanted to do. Because as long as you say family, there's a tendency to we just had a huge holiday, right? And I love my family, but there's also a lot of obligations. You have to go to grandma's, you have to do, and yeah, we've got obligations as well. I mean, if Joris puts down a deadline, we're going to work hard to reach that deadline. So there is obligations, but it's not a family in the way when you're not obligated to come play a game with us. We invite you to come. We invite you to come and watch movies. We invite you to join us for lunch. We invite you to do stuff with us. Everyone is invited. Everyone is accepted. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, non-binary, if you're 2 meters tall or 1 meter short, doesn't matter. Everyone is invited to everything. I mean, because if you got accepted to Brightstar, it's because of your skill set and your personality. We'll like you. I mean, that's just how it is. So not as much as family, perhaps a tribe would be better. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still workshopping it.
A comfortable, low pressure environment. That's the vibe I'm getting that we're working towards, where all of these cool, fun things are there for you if you want to engage with them, but you don't have to if you do not want to, and that is very much cool with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a D&D session on Friday, and we want everyone in the party to come, but someone can't because they've got a birthday. I mean, we're not going to be mad at them. We're not going to be furious that you can make a social event, because you've got a life and you've got other obligations. That's cool. If you can join us for something, do it. If not, hey, we still like you.
I'm really bummed out that I'm missing those sessions, by the way. I cannot wait for my next trip over to Denmark.
Well, come on by. There's always room for a half-orc bard.
Yes. I'm going to bring so much throat medicine. I could not speak that whole Saturday.
Yeah, you probably should. That was a really fun night.
Right. So we covered the work stuff. We described what you do and what you want to do for and with the company. And now let's get into the dirty laundry, the freeballing section. Your gaming habits. Time
gaming habits.
Time for street cred.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably played, well, mostly in the 90s, in the early 10s, because I'm slightly older than most of the people in the company. Not all. I'm not the age person, but a lot. So I started playing The Hunt for Red October, which is a book by Tom Clancy, in that became a movie that became a very bad side scroller with a submarine, and I was horrible at it as a kid. That was my first game, but it was I really thought I was good at it. I wasn't, and then I just started from there. So I've played everything from Civilization One, yes, the one, XCOM, the
Mm.
original,
Ooh.
and then I just kept on going. I played Baldur's Gate, I played World of Warcraft, I played all of those, the Monkey Islands. But right now, my biggest addiction is Overwatch.
Uh,
I've been playing that far too much. Um, so I took a break the last couple of months. I used to have captain a team. We're playing Masters, so it was pretty serious. We even had a coach
oh.
yeah, we did coaching sessions, and we had strategies. We you had to follow up on meta, and it was like 3 nights a week, and then a coaching session. It was almost like a second job. That's how serious I took it.
Oh my god.
Uh, well, because that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
We get engaged. We want to be better. We want to be really good at stuff. We want to learn and become the best.
Mhm.
That's kind of like we've got we've got 3 people from the old CS 1.6 team, Spirit of Amiga, who was
Mhm.
like I knew who they were, but I didn't know them. Now I'm working with them. That's the people that we're in a company with. So they want to be good. They want to be not only good, they want to be the best. And I think that's pretty good way of describing it. Um, but yeah, Overwatch. But right now I'm playing Halo Infinite.
Oh my man. Nice.
Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, because you need to play other stuff than just one game, right?
That's true. That's very
And
true.
I'm looking forward to getting into Wildermyth, an RPG as well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So, would your longest gaming session be related to your Overwatch addiction, or would that be something
no,
else?
no, it wouldn't. That would be when I was a kid. I had friends coming over. We played Warcraft 2 and Command and Conquer on direct connections, and we had a session playing Diablo 1,
Hmm.
the first one, and I think that lasted. I remember them going to bed around 5 in the morning, and I was like, yeah. I grabbed a bottle. I grabbed a big bottle of Coke, and I just kept on going. So I think it was, let's say, 30, 36 hours, something like that.
What?
Yeah. But we got to hell, and I got the godly plate of the whale and all that stuff. Yep,
Oh my
that's the
god.
longest gaming session.
Holy
But
shit.
but bear in mind, Sadlin, this was just 1.5 day. We did this like it was the Easter holiday, so we started Monday and we ended Friday.
Holy
So
shit.
yeah, we played everything: Civilization, Command and Conquer, all of those good games back in the late 90s.
Oh my
That was really
god.
fun.
You are essentially the poster boy for a 90s season of Stranger Things with this.
Yeah, I probably would be.
God damn. Is that your fondest gaming memory then?
Ah, that's a great question. No, I think my fondest gaming memory is when I was invited to a wedding by my guild master in World of Warcraft. He
Oh
was
man.
he was living in the UK, and I was in Denmark, and I had visited him the summer before, and he invited me to come to his wedding, and his wife was also in the guild, obviously, and so was his dad-in-law, and that was that sense of community and like belonging. I really really enjoyed that, and I think that's why the whole MMORPG and also the team I built, Overwatch, I really like that. That's yeah. So that isn't as much a gaming experience, but it's an experience in a in relation to a game.
Hmm.
Right? Right?
That's so precious. That's so awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it
very
really was.
heartwarming. I've
Yeah.
heard a couple of stories of WoW weddings, and it always warms my heart that people go to that extra mile to show their dedication through something they love.
Oh
That's
yeah,
so
but I
nice.
mean, this wasn't online. It wasn't in the game. I was actually invited to the wedding.
Oh, Oh my
in
god.
London, well, close to London, and he was Scottish, so I got to wear his family kilt for the wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Good times.
Hell yes. Oh, that is even better then. That's oh my god, that's so cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm nerding the hell out. Hold on. Ooh,
Yeah.
compose
I
myself.
mean, recent best is probably winning some tournament in Overwatch, but I mean that was just fun and because our plans clicked and everyone was popping and but yeah, I think the fondest memory that is related to gaming is being invited to that wedding.
That's awesome. And let's finish off strong with your top 3 favorite video games.
Oh, I've been thinking a lot about it because there's so many awesome games, right?
Mm,
Um, I think if I look at what has influenced me the most, that would be the original XCOM.
mm-hmm.
I played that like way too much when I was a kid. Um, I played a ton of adventure games as well, but I think we'd have to go with Mass Effect 2
Ooh,
for
yes.
the second one because it's just, I mean, it's just a great game. And now we're staying in the same genre, but just for all the haters out there, Cyberpunk 2077
Oh,
is
my
the
man.
best story ever. I mean, it's like
Oh.
the story. I will not get into details about all the bugs and all that. I played through it in the first. I played 100 hours in the first week I had it, and I had 3 bugs. So I mean, experience may vary, but yeah,
Mhm.
that game is awesome. And you and I, we can speak about games for the next hour, and we won't even have scratched the surface of all the great games. I mean, and let's not get into all the bad games that we probably played as well, right?
Boy, do I have some stories about that.
Yeah, I
Man,
know you do.
Cyberpunk is such a out of left field choice because I finished it over my
Oh, you
you
did?
mandated Christmas break, and
Yeah.
god damn is it good. For like very weird reasons. Um, that sounds very negative. Let me quickly explain
No, I
this.
get it. I mean, even okay. Let's be real. The story is kind of, it's all right. It's
Mhm.
not that good, but the connections with the characters,
Yes,
the way they're
absolutely.
built,
Mhm.
oh, that is so great. I mean, what team are you? Judy or Pan Am?
Judy.
Oh,
Listen,
that's where it goes wrong.
I played a
No, no, no,
female.
no.
Okay,
Pan
so
Am all
no,
the way. Pan
I
Am.
know. Here's my perspective. So I made a female Corpo V, and
Oh yeah,
I really wanted to go heavy on the roleplay, and I immediately
yeah.
abandoned the game at launch because it ran like garbage on my computer, which
Oh,
I believe I've told you, and
yeah.
then just the immersion wasn't there, because
No.
just the RPG systems are beyond non-existent in that game. But recently, with all of the mods that came out and my newly acquired graphics card, I decided to give it another shot.
There
And
you
that
go.
game, when you decide to put into it more than it can not handle per se, but I went deep on the roleplay with just a couple of mods, chief among them being one that allowed me to just upgrade. I gave myself infinite upgrade materials so that I could keep all of the clothes that I like, the outfits from IV,
Oh, yeah.
which like really helped with my immersion and how I would consider her to behave. And I don't know if it was because I was playing it perfectly the way CD Projekt wrote Corpo V, but I genuinely had a character arc in the game through just the couple of dialogue options you get, and just it's so well written, which I'm really happy that the writing quality is still there. That was very worrying. So with the quality of the side characters and just Keanu is surprisingly fantastic as Johnny Silverhand.
He is. Well, I mean, it's not a surprise. It's Keanu. I mean, he's breathtaking, right?
He sure is, and it just like god damn, it was so good, and the side characters are fantastic, and Night City is a great place for digital tourism, and again
True.
with the mods that swept most of my issues with the game under the rug, and I just had a
Yeah.
fantastic time with it. And the ending, again, no spoilers here, but the ending and endings, plural, that I got were just so bittersweet that it completely meshes with the theme of the game, which it being a cyberpunk dystopia and all that. It feels like a small story in the
Yeah,
giant
you're
world of
you're
Night
not
City.
you're not supposed to have a happy ending, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, even The Witcher doesn't have a happy ending. That's what they do. They have a realistic ending. That, I mean, there will be good stuff, but there'll also be bad stuff.
Yeah, which makes it even more like, memorable. Oh, that is such a
Exactly.
good note to end on. Nerding about Cyberpunk. So I guess that's all the
Yeah.
questions I had for the podcast.
Oh yeah.
This was a fantastic time. I'm
It
really
really
glad that we got the major point across, which is you're holding the reins. Everything is fantastic, and
I
it's
am.
gonna get even better. And you have great
They are,
taste
they
in
are.
video games.
I think so. I mean, it's always debatable, right? And that's also sort of fun. I mean, meeting people and having the same interests, or at least not even the same interests. If people have something they're passionate about, and just acting around, I could ask you about cars or movies, and we could probably talk about that for hours.
Oh yeah.
And you could ask me. We could talk about games or working out. We've got a lot of things in common, by the way.
Yes.
That's creepy. I mean, as long as people are passionate about something, you can always have a great time. We might not agree. You'd say something like really stupid, like I would never squat. It's bad for your knees, and I'd have to slap you silly. But we could argue about it, and we could be passionate about it, and we
I
could
actually
have
believe that,
great
by the
conversation.
way. That's why I stopped
Oh
squatting.
no, you don't. Oh no. We'll have to have a great debate about that sometime.
Fitcast in future. Why is everybody so ripped at this goddamn company? Woof.
Well, because we're. I mean, I've done it for a living. I actually had to stay fit, and I think a lot of people, luckily, is learning that you have to take care of your body and your mind. So if by running a few hours a week or lifting heavy things and putting them down a few hours a week, I mean, if you can do those things, you'll be alive longer and you'll have more fun.
That's right. That's right. That is exactly the note I wanted to end on, by the way. Grab some dumbbells, people.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from Mark. He's from Mark Ripto. He's a strength coach. Like being strong is just a life hack.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
That's very helpful. It is. Do you know how much
It is.
flour you can carry? You can make so much za if you're stronger.
Yeah, well, I mean, where I come from, being strong meant that I could carry all my gear when I deployed to Afghanistan, even in 40 degrees heat in the shade, and only feeling mildly uncomfortable. Being strong means that when you get ill, you probably become well quicker. Being strong, and I'm strong in like the most broad term I can use, helps you get over heartaches because. Yeah. So I mean, being strong in every sense of the word, life hack.
Absolutely. Well, that's the episode. Thank you, Chris,
That's
for
the
participating.
episode.
That's the episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we will definitely have him back on. And we will catch you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey you made it to the end. Congratulations! That must mean you like us enough to want more, right? Well, good news! We're all over the internet. Go to embersword.com and subscribe to our newsletter for a chance to play the game early, as well as the latest interesting tidbits on the game and the team. Join our lovely Discord community over at discord.gg/embersword. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at PlayEmberSword for regular updates on what we're up to. And remember the basics. Drink water, be kind to each other, and spread the word about Ember Sword.